Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do so. I'll wait. I'll wait. Okay, so if you're watching this video, hopefully you watched the previous video that explains a little bit as to how things are going to go. Just to reiterate, I'm going to be dropping one video each week. It's going to be every Monday morning. And if you did purchase the prompts, which I did explain as well in the previous video on my website, you have access to purchase some prompts that coincide with the videos that you'll be watching. It'll be 3 prompts a week. I'll be dropping the prompts per month. So the first one is out right now if you want to go ahead and purchase it. Also, you are not obligated to purchase anything, but in order to get the full experience as to what this journey is about, you would have to purchase it. If you decide not to, I hope you have your journal, your book, your phone out ready to take some sort of notes. I explained a little bit in the intro for the prompts that you could use anything to write down your notes. And when I say anything, I mean anything. Point being that when I started journaling, I just kept purchasing journals and purchased them because they were cute, but it wasn't really efficient for me. When I said you can use anything, I mean anything. I think this is like the first journal that I've ever ever got. I don't know how I still have this. A comp notebook. This probably looks familiar, but this is the book that I'll be using to follow along with the journey as well. I'll be following along with you guys. It's a good tool for you to reflect on by come the end of December or the beginning of January. So I am excited for that. It's something that you could redo every year for 6 months. I know a year could probably be a bit of a commitment. So that's why I did 7 months. You could do 6. However it is that you want to break it up, it's up to you. For some reason, in my book, I put finding pleasure in pain, which the topics are sort of similar. So let's get started. Understanding discomfort, finding pleasure in pain. Why is it important? I feel like a lot of times when we want to do something or if we start doing something, we tend to fall back or quit when things start to get a little uncomfortable, especially if we're doing it by ourselves and we don't have like a helpmate or accountability partner. It's a little easier for us to say, you know what, this is too hard. I'm just going to find something else, or I'll figure it out another time, or I'll do it at another time. But then at some point, you start to realize there is some type of inconsistency in your life, or you're always quitting, or you're always putting something off. So the first step is to be aware, right? We need to recognize that there's a problem. I know sometimes we want to go by how we feel, whether or not we're in a good mood or not, or maybe we just experienced some type of breakup, or, whether it's a friendship, a job loss, anything that makes you feel uncomfortable or causes you some type of pain. I feel like, yes, you can feel a way about it or take some time to take it in, but we need to be aware of what our patterns are. Discomfort doesn't mean that you should run away from it. It doesn't mean that you should quit. It doesn't mean that you should give up. Discomfort should be used as a tool to let you know that something is wrong. So just a signal to say, hey, I feel uncomfortable. Something's going on. I need to go a little deeper to figure out what exactly it is. It can mean that you need to pay attention to something. It could mean that something's not aligned. Whatever it is, you should be curious enough to ask yourself these questions. Now, the prompts will help you to ask some questions related to this topic. But if you want to jot down something now that you could think of, you can go ahead and take your time to do that now while I go ahead and tell you my example of quitting or giving up. I went through the regular phase trying to figure out the right diet that works for me or working out. Contrary to popular belief, I did not do any sports. Growing up, I have an athletic build, but I did not do any sports in school. So anything that had to do with getting my hands dirty or just running or anything, I just was not with it at all. So starting my fitness journey was definitely something that was out of the blue. And I, of course, did not know what I was doing. So just imagine how uncomfortable I felt. But I didn't let that deter me from what my goal was. So yes, I knew that it was something that it was uncomfortable, but I didn't want to shy away from it. Now, let's talk about what prompted me to even start the journey. Unfortunately, yes, it was a breakup. It was a breakup a few years ago, and it's so funny because in that relationship, that person wanted me to work out with them, and I always say, no, I don't feel like it. I don't want to. I just wasn't interested whatsoever. So, of course, breakup happens, and sometimes you start to think, okay, what is it that I could do? Well, I don't know about you, but for me, anytime I went through a breakup, I was like, okay, what is it that we're going to do to channel this pain and this discomfort? That is one thing that a lot of people could have in common that I do recommend, that if you're going through some type of hardship or pain or discomfort in your life, find some type of healthy outlet. So fast forward, the breakup happened and I was like, I don't know how to get started. At that time, I was living in Atlanta and I decided to sign up for a class. So the good thing about classes is once you start, you kind of pick up on different routines and things for you to do. Once you get comfortable in that class, it's something that you could bring along with you. So that was an example of me taking a bad situation, some pain, some discomfort, doing something that I've never done before, and trying to come up with a way that I can turn my life around from just going down to the dungeon. My mom likes to call being depressed the dungeon, but you just want to avoid that from happening. Like I said, it's normal for you to be sad, but we just don't want to stay down there. So that's how I turned everything around. That's how I made my pain turn into my pleasure, because it allowed me to stay consistent. I was working out 6 days a week. I was eating right. I was eating healthy. I was determined to say, listen, I'm going through a breakup, but best believe in a few months, I'm not going to look like what I looked like before. So that's one example. Reality is that isn't always the case. Some people do go through breakups, or they go through a hardship or a situation and they do go to the dungeon. They do go down and they may or may not realize it and they don't get back up. It may turn into drinking or smoking or some type of outlet that gives you no type of benefit in your life whatsoever. And this is not a judgment zone, but I do feel like if you're going through a hard time, things like that can only make a situation worse instead of making it better. That's just my thought based off of my experiences, and we'll tell those stories at another time. At the end of the day, those things are temporary. Finding something to turn that pain into some type of pleasure is way more beneficial, and you're going to thank yourself for it. Trust me, you will. So even something like this, you may be in a tough situation at this moment. You may not be feeling your best, but you're making the decision to get on the right track. That's an example of turning your pain into some type of pleasure. This is the first step for you to understand your discomfort. You're in a season where you're probably not happy. You're in a season that you feel uncomfortable. Things may be confusing at the moment. This is your first step. And I'm telling you, if you come along for the journey, you are going to learn so much about yourself, and something is going to change for the good. Now, back to these unhealthy vices. For me, quickly, I'll say I definitely turned to drinking at a lot of stages in my life when I was unaware that it was causing more harm than good. I feel like when you're in that world where you're constantly drinking and smoking and not doing anything to level up, there can be years that go by and you're just like, hold on, where did all this time go? I wasted all of this time by doing the same things that I did 10, 15 years ago when I could have been at a different level by now. And that's the thought that I had when I started to eat right and started to work out. I was like, you know what? Had I started this fitness journey years ago, I would have been in a better situation. But we are not going to dwell on the past. It was drinking. This might sound like it doesn't make any sense, but like even the type of music that I was listening to when I was drinking, I was driving, I was doing all sorts of things that I shouldn't have been doing that could have caused me harm enough to not be here right now. And of course I could laugh about it now, but I was in a very dark and uncomfortable space, and I was not aware of what I was doing. I didn't have anyone around me telling me any better at the moment, too. Also, I just probably didn't care to hear what anyone had to say. And I just feel like that's a very, very dangerous space to be in. If you're going through something, if you are going through anything at all, I do feel like you need to surround yourself with people that love you and that want the best for you and take what they're saying into consideration. You don't realize how hard it is or how painful it is for other people to be there for you while you're going through certain things, and they want you to do better. They want the best for you. And time and time again, you're making these unhealthy decisions, and it's also hurting the people that want to love on you and support you as well. So, just also being aware of that too. Not saying that you have to do whatever it is or you have to get out of your situation for another person, but it's just a part of being aware. Something as simple as letting them know that you hear them. I don't think it's necessary for you to just have some type of backlash or feel some type of way that someone's trying to be there for you or that they care. I've seen it many times where somebody could be going through something and a loved one and a friend could want to talk to them, or maybe they don't even feel comfortable talking to them anymore because it's like, what's the point? Nothing's going to change. They're probably going to curse me out. And it's like, that could be one thing that you're working on as well. When someone wants you to do better and they're bringing up the pain that they see that you're in or the same mistakes that you keep going through, just hear them out. Just believe that they want the best for you. I wish that I had someone that kind of had certain conversations with me, but this is why we're having these type of conversations now, so that if you don't have that type of person or if you don't have those people around you, I'm going to help you turn whatever situation that you're in right now into a better situation. Another thing that I used to do as well when I was going through some type of discomfort or pain, I used to overwork myself. I also didn't realize that that was an issue for me as well, because when you're in New York, when you're Jamaican, you're supposed to have two jobs. You start doing all these things to fill your time and you have no time for yourself. So that's why I commend anybody that's taking the time out to even watch these videos or go through the prompts, because sometimes we just fill our world up with so many different things and so many different distractions that we're not focusing on the deeper things. Going out all the time, so it was working more than one job, going to school, going out, sleeping, and doing that repeatedly every day, every week. And then next thing you know, all these months and years go by, and I'm like, wait, this is not getting me any closer to the person that I want to be. It doesn't make me a better, I was about to say mom. It doesn't make me a better aunt, doesn't make me a better sister, daughter, friend. It's just numbing me, and it's just a distraction for the things that I want to do and the person that I want to become. So don't let the pain and don't let the discomfort deter you away from the things that you want to do and that you need to do in order to become a better person. I know sometimes it's hard to turn down going out, or sometimes you just want to not feel what you're feeling, but know that it is part of the process. Feeling pain, feeling discomfort is part of the process. It's not going to be pretty, it's not going to be perfect, but trust and believe, once you follow through, it is going to be worth it. I have been through it, not once, not twice, not 3 times, probably not even 10 times, probably more than 20 times. I've been through it a lot. So that's why I think it's a very important topic to speak about, is that you don't want to have any type of pain or discomfort paralyze you to the point where you forget about where you're going or who you want to be. After I realized that I was living a life that I didn't want to live, I ended a relationship that ended, let's just say that. I realized that I needed to do something so dramatic. It wasn't just working out. It was no meat, no drinking, working out 6 days a week, sometimes 2 times in the week, and I had no set goal. The only thing that I wanted to do was stay consistent. Mind you, this is coming from someone that has not been in the gym a day in their life, is not athletic, but I knew that I wanted to do something. I knew that I wanted to change, and I knew myself enough to say that in order for me to see some type of dramatic change, I needed to change my mindset dramatically, not a little. I could give advice as well to people that want to do a shift, but they just don't know how, or they don't want to go cold turkey. But for me, I said, let's just figure out the most dramatic thing for me to do. Once you know like where you're going and what you want to do, you can't allow anyone or anything to interfere with what you're trying to do, especially when you're going through a breakup. Listen, when you go when you're going through a breakup, you get some type of like tunnel vision. You just have some type of grit to you sometimes, where it's like, I don't care what anyone says, I'm going to stick on this path. The pain was my motivation at that time to say, listen, I want to be a totally different person. Let's do something crazy. Now, something crazy in the sense that, yes, my family's Jamaican, so this meant no curry goat, no curry chicken. You know, you're working for a dental office, no free Chick-fil-A, no cookies, no donuts, none of that, no liquor, no going out. It was just me. I think this is when I started reading my Bible. This is when I started watching all sorts of podcasts, trying to get my mind right. It all starts in the mind. I'm telling you, if you go in with your old mindset, trying to do something new, it is never going to work. Another thing that helped me as well was just thinking about my nieces and my nephews. Like, who is the type of person I want them to look up to? Do I want them to look at me and say, oh, my aunt is always out drinking and partying, or I have to hide my stories, or I have to hide whatever it is? It's like, no, I want them to be proud of who their aunt is. I want them to be able to come to me about anything. I know what it's like to be in certain situations, and then I also know what it's like to not want to be in certain situations. So I just said to myself, aside from just me, I wanted them to look at someone and say, you know what, I saw my aunt change things. I saw her stop doing things. I saw her become a new healthy person that's doing, you know, whatever it is that I'm doing in a healthy way. I wanted to set the example for them. So these are certain things you need to figure out your why. Aside from the actual pain or, you know, discomfort, you need to come up with some other whys to keep you going, because there's going to be times you want to give up or you don't want to do it anymore. And then I think about my nieces and nephews. Whatever your why is, or the next time I see my ex, I want them to see, like, you know, I'm not where they left me. Whatever your reasoning is, you need to come up with your whys and stick to it. You may need more than one, but just think about it. Okay, no, I need to do this because I want my niece and my nephew or my daughter or my son to see that I changed my life around. Just know that your actions don't just affect you, it affects other people around you as well. Some people may think like it's not about anyone else, but unfortunately it is in a way, especially if you have children. You could be helping other people around. You could be a parent, it could be a coworker. When I started my journey, my coworkers saw my changes physically before I even saw it. And also understand that a lot of things are going to change. Not only did I have to say no to food and drinks, I had to say no to people. Certain friends wanted to do certain things, and this is not to bash them or anything. Just imagine you living a sort of lifestyle and you're deciding to change. You can't think, okay, I'm going to change, I'm going to get on this journey, and then your friend buddy hits you up and like, yo, bro, I got bottles and I got whatever, and then you just like,
you know what, this is just one time, I'm gonna start tomorrow.
Whatever the excuse is, get no in your head first, so that when buddy does ask you to come out or give you whatever food or whatever it is that you shouldn't be doing or things you shouldn't be doing, you're already saying no. Like, don't even think about it. It's no. It's no, and then you think about your whys, or your whys, then the no. Whatever comes first. That's just what it is. And that's also the part that might be the hardest. It's not even the time that you spend by yourself and trying to lock in. It's the people that also may not understand that you're on this journey and that you're taking yourself serious as well. Because a lot of people are going to test you. Trust me, they're going to test you. You may start off all good and strong for the first month of whatever you're doing, and then 1 month or 2 months come by. Don't let it be summertime either, or their birthday, unfortunately. But they're going to try and test you and say, oh, you still doing that thing? yeah, I'm still doing that thing. Like, and I won't lie, I definitely got upset a few times because it's like some people don't understand what it's like to take themselves serious. Some people don't know what it's like to lock in, or they don't know what it's like to want to change. And I kind of took some stuff personal because it's like if I'm wanting to do something better for my life, here you come trying to bring something that you know may not be the best for me. But then I had to realize that everybody did not change their mindset. Like I said, it starts in the mind first. And some point you have to choose. It's, do I want the better me, or do I want to go back to that same pain that I was feeling? Am I going to turn this situation into something that's better for me, or am I going to keep staying stagnant and keep doing the same things over and over again? You have to make a decision. Now, let's put some practical things into play. Like I had mentioned before, you have to figure out your goal and your whys. Why are you doing this? Okay, you went through a breakup, you lost your job, whatever the case may be. What is it that you're going to keep thinking of or coming back to say, I need to stay on this path? Is it my son? Is it my daughter? Is it my niece, my nephew? Is it solely you? Is it your parent? Whatever your motivation is, you need to write this down or just have it in your brain to say, this is what I'm going to come back to anytime I feel like giving up, or when I don't feel like it. This is what I'm going to come back to. This is who I'm doing it for. And that's like part one. You could go even further to say, how do I want my life to look? Do I want the family with the nice house, nice cars, white picket fence? Do I want people to see me and see my body, see my skin and say, oh my gosh, what have you been doing? I'm so proud of you. I love what you're doing. Do you want people to recognize you for what you've done to change your life around? Or do you want to be recognized as someone that didn't do anything to change their life around? The person that's recognized for going through a hard time and staying down, or going through a hard time and not doing anything about it. No, you shouldn't worry about what other people are saying, but realistically speaking, it happens. It doesn't matter what type of journey you are. There are people that are looking at you and paying attention to the things that you do. People are watching what you're doing. They may not say anything directly, but they're definitely clocking what you're doing. Your parents, they're seeing what you're doing as well. Your coworkers, people are paying attention. If you feel uncomfortable, just tap in and say, okay, why is it that I feel uncomfortable? Who is it that's making me uncomfortable? And then figure it out. If you don't make the decision to change, but yet you want this family, you want the kids, you want the cars, you want the nice job, and you're wondering why you don't have it, it's because you're not doing what you need to do to get there. You're choosing all these things to fuel whatever pain or discomfort that you're going through instead of locking in and choosing a better route for yourself. For me personally, I don't want to be praised for how many shots I'm taking. I want to be praised for, oh, Jackie, you've been doing your thing. I see you changed your life around. Your body looks good. You're smiling more. You look healthy. You look happy. I wanted to be known for that. I didn't want to be known for what we doing tonight, what you doing this weekend. Been there, done that. That life is no longer serving me, and it's not serving the person that I want to be. I do want to set example for my nieces and my nephews so that when they go through a breakup as well, I know what it's like and I could discuss it with them and tell them what to do as well. How would it look if you go through a breakup? And I'm sorry I keep using the breakup example, but I feel like it's very common. But how would you feel if you're going through a breakup and you're down bad, and then when your child gets older or they go through a breakup, what advice are you giving them? Because they're paying attention to you as well. They may think, why should I listen to you if you didn't even take your own advice? I didn't want to do that because I thought that myself. When people try to give me advice, I would look at them, unfortunately, judgmental, or, think, okay, why should I listen to you if you're not living the life that I want to live? And that happened a lot. A lot of people around me worry, and this is not to knock anyone around me, but I feel like the things that I want in life, I don't see that around me. So I have to set the example and say, okay, I've been through these painful situations and these uncomfortable situations. What am I going to do moving forward? Do I want to see my ex see me being popped down? No, I don't. I don't want them to see me crashing out. I don't want them to see any bad part of me. And it's not because I care about them more. It's because I care about me more. Like, am I willing to be my worst self when I could have turned what was bad into a good situation? And I feel like that's also why it's important to have people around you that care about you, because when you're going through something, you need people that are going to remind you of like who you are. You are not supposed to stay in that dark space forever. Use it to get you into a better situation. You are never going to regret betting on yourself. I feel like I'm always going to repeat that because it's true. Betting on yourself and on your future is one of the best things that you could do. Do you want to look back and say, oh yeah, I went through that breakup, I looked crazy? Or do you want to look back at the breakup and say, I'm so proud of myself for going through this crappy situation and not looking like what I've been through? I'm speaking to you as a friend, I'm speaking to you as a sister, I'm speaking to you as someone who cares about you. If you're struggling with taking the next step, or you've been through a situation, you didn't even realize that you're in this space that is undesirable, or you may feel like there's nothing that you could do, reach out to me. I'll try to help out the best that I can, but just keep in mind that this is week 1 and this is just the beginning of the journey. Thank you for watching this video. I can't wait to see you guys next week.